help you? What do y'all want? No trespassers around. Oh, y'all are here to visit. What? GCTV Cribs? I never heard of that. Well, come on in. Man, why y'all always want to look in the fridge? Let's see what we got for this weekend. Oh, we got eggs. This. Veggies for fajitas on the Blackstone Grill. Chicken marinated up here. It's gonna be good. Spank your mama good. Or is it slap your mama good? Whoa, it's hot in here. I don't have the air conditioner on. I don't have the fan on because I'm trying to be all better quality without ambient noises stuff here. So really, on a serious note, this video is just to kind of show the upgrades that I've done to the camper so far, the things that I'm working on. Pretty pleased with my progress. You know, I think for the most part everybody knows that I didn't pay a whole lot for this camper. So it's going good. I'm just going to walk you through what I've done so far. First thing we done, we changed the mattress out because the first night that we spent on that, it was bad. It was real bad. Up here on the edge of the bed, I have a 12-volt charger that I've wired in on both sides because the wife kept getting jealous because I had the charger on my side. One thing to caution you guys though about is the beds. You know, this was a queen size bed, but it was a camper queen, so it's probably about a foot shorter. So the bed hangs off a little bit. It's not really that bothersome. If you go to sit down on it, it's kind of an issue, or lifting it up. I've thought about extending the base out a little bit, but I ain't worried about it. Now the biggest upgrade we've done in here is the floor. When I bought this camper, it had some water damage. The people said that it had a pipe bust before. I only found one semi-soft spot in the roof, which was a little worse than I thought. I thought when we got this camper, oh, it won't be no problem to change the floors out because it's just plywood. Wrong. This is an ultralight camper. Basically the way this floor was after I got to looking at it, so it had a 1/4 inch plywood, piece of styrofoam, another 1/4 inch plywood. So there was really no easy way to just replace the floor. So the option that I decided to do, because this is a cheap camper, it was my most expensive upgrade so far, is I put 1/2 inch plywood down because I didn't want to make it too thick where it would add too much weight, because I do have a 1/2 ton truck I pull it with. So put 1/2 inch plywood down, and then on top of that I put linoleum planks, or vinyl planks. I like vinyl planks. I have some in my house. These are the snap together kind. They didn't snap together too well. I'm not that impressed with it. I like the ones that stick together better. Basically, first thing we did was we put some plywood down. We put some 1-inch screws in it. Before we put the plywood down though, we put some liquid nails down. It didn't really stick to it though. It didn't really help. The screws didn't really bite into anything. Now it has taken away 80–90% of the give in the floor. It's still a little bouncy. I did find some mold in a couple of places that was rotted out. One was right under this window over here, and that big spot of that was in the bathroom. Now the rest of the main soft spots in here in the living room, they weren't moldy, they were just soft. So over here in the areas of the mold, what I did is I ordered this stuff on Amazon. I think it's called Rot Stop Epoxy. Basically it's real thin, it's supposed to soak down in the wood. And I had my doubts about that bathroom because there was literally a hole in that top sheet of plywood. But I put that stuff down, and then it was strong enough for me to stand on it. Then I went over the top with Bondo to fill that hole in. It's pretty strong now. I did end up, since I raised the floor, I didn't want to mess the toilet seal up, so I just cut around that. And then in there in the bathroom, I've been working on a bathroom at home, so I was building a custom shower. So I had this stuff called Red Guard. You might be familiar with it, but basically it's like a heavy-duty water sealer. On that bathroom in there, I did paint that board with that Red Guard before I put it down because I had some. It's pretty expensive stuff, but I had it laying around from the other project. But after I put some vinyl down in that hole, because, you know, I was afraid if I lifted it up on the plywood, it wouldn't get a good seal to the toilet seal, which would be a pretty crappy problem. Yeah, I know. My poop jokes get old. But, you know, all in all, it turned out pretty good. So the biggest thing that I did in the living room, I didn't do a whole lot. I put a TV up here. It's got a strap holding it back on the bracket. That was actually my Father's Day present from the wife and the kid this year. And then I had these speakers down here that's supposed to be from a surround sound system that was with the camper when they had it, but they didn't leave me the head unit. So I was trying to figure out something to do. So up here, this is just sitting with some Velcro, and I have it wired in as a 12-volt plug, but I think I'm going to change that a little bit. But I got a stereo. It's just a car stereo here. Now, if you decide to do something like that, I kept having problems when I wired it in because there's no accessory wire, of course, on a camper. And so everything I read said do the accessory wire and the power wire together, and then it'll work. But I had like a $20 radio, and I knew that it shouldn't really be worth $20. But I put it in. I got it from Walmart, and it kept not working. But it was because the radio is so cheap and horrible. I got a better radio, works just fine. Because of where I had the rot stop epoxy I had to do in the bathroom in here, basically I was trying to get a head start on the floor before I did that, so I had the seam right here, and I thought that it would be horrible, but it's not really that bad after I get this transition piece on here. I do need to trim down this door a little bit because it kind of sticks sometimes, but I think it works good. And I'll show you a close-up of the toilet area that I was talking about in the floor. I didn't get around the corners the best. But see, you can barely tell that in the bathroom around the toilet. The red you see is that Red Guard that I was talking about. On the outside here, the number one thing that I've done, you know, to this side is the awning. I replaced that, and we'll show you some pictures of that. Really, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. We did go over the roof with some Eternabond, and I did that before I put the awning on. That was kind of an issue because then I had to mess a little bit of the sealer up, and I had to take the gutters off that were on there, so I had to replace those. We'll show you a picture of that too. The biggest problem that I had was right here with this outlet. I did replace it because the other one wasn't working. And I looked all around. I knew it was on a GFI outlet, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It was hidden in the bathroom. So now the one in the kitchen also works that I didn't think worked. But I have this wired up differently because I was being dumb and couldn't find it. The rest of the outside projects that we've done include replacing all the lights with LED lights. I think I had about $50 invested in that. And I put this camera in. Now this, like I said before, it's a wireless camera, but it's really cheap. I got it on Amazon for $80. Has two inputs in it, came with a screen. The camera that I have on my truck that's wired works pretty good. This one, kind of hit or miss. It's usually got a lot of static in it, which doesn't bother me, but whenever it never fails whenever you get on the road and you're around a lot of trucks and everything, you start losing signal, which is when you really want to know what's behind you, the real reason that I got that for. So I do have a wire that I'm going to run all the way to the truck from this, and then I think my $80 camera is going to be great. The other thing that we do, we did just recently, is backup lights. I have a whole video on that. I'll show you a picture of that up in the corner right now, just to show you what it looks like. I hadn't used it yet to back up, but it appears that the path is pretty wide on that. Should be really helpful for backing up at night. We also have a video where we replaced this city water connector. It's been great so far. I've only used the pump on one trip. Of course, the old one didn't have, this has plastic around it, so it's easier to put the hose on. But the old one, the biggest issue was the check valve, so water kept squirting out of here whenever you turn the pump on. Pump works just great. Problem that I'm having with the water now, which I've known about for a while, is the hot water heater has a leak in it. So most places that we go to right now actually everywhere we've went to so far has a bathhouse, so I'm not real worried about it. Don't have to have hot water, so I just keep the bypass on for now. But eventually we'll have to tear that hot water heater out on the other side, see what's going on with that thing, see if it needs a new tank or if we just need to replace it, see if we can handyman it. It's not horribly expensive to buy a new one, but cheap camper. Keep having to tell myself that. Cheap camper. Alright, so a couple other projects that I did. I replaced this lock on here, on the basement storage, because they didn't work. I didn't have the key for it. That was kind of confusing. I ended up going through 3 sets and having to send them back to Amazon. So it'd probably be cheaper just to order them from a place online that has exactly how to measure it and everything. It looks pretty easy, but I thought I'd take the cheaper route. Ended up not being that much cheaper. And our water tank fill cap here, we replaced that on our city water connector video. Other thing we did to the outside that I didn't show is replacing the tires, and I repacked the bearings. But those tires, and check the brakes. I just ended up going with some cheap Trailer King tires from Walmart. They were, I think, $45 a piece. I ordered them online. They mounted them for free because I didn't have them balanced. Apparently a lot of people don't balance their trailer tires. But they've worked out good so far. And if I had a real big camper that weighed a lot, this ultralight camper, remember, I probably wouldn't trust them, and I'd be like all these other people you see with the debates online about tires and needing the biggest, strongest tire because you keep having these blowouts. I've not driven this thing a whole lot. I probably got a couple hundred miles on these tires, so and they've been doing good so far. But only time will tell. Thanks for watching this episode of GCTV Cribs. Y'all need to get out. Oh, wait. I'm the one leaving because I'm going camping. Peace.